Good morning and thanks for joining us here on Casual Camping and Outdoors. Today we're going to be making a complete fire kit with redundant spark and ignition sources and tinder sources for less than $10. Stay tuned. Okay, I went to my local dollar store with a $10 bill to see if I could bring home everything necessary to create a complete fire starting kit with redundant tinder sources and ignition sources, and I think we managed to do it. So let's take a look at the items as they come. Number one, matches, $1. Cotton balls, $1. By the way, everything in this video was $1 per item. Got these little rolls of jute twine, $1. 2 Scripto lighters, they're not Bics, but $1. Chapstick, $1. Hand sanitizer, candles, small container, large container. So what are we going to do with all this? Let's take a look. Okay, first is our matches. So we got this package. I've seen these matches in the grocery store, and this package was like $6, but my local dollar store, which here in Florida is the Dollar Tree, had these. You get 32 matches in a box for $1 for 10 boxes. That's 10 cents a box of matches. That's not too bad. So we'll take a box of those. Next, we're going to take our jute twine. What do we do with jute twine? I'm fixing to show you. We're going to take a roll, and you get 3 of these rolls for $1, and I'm sure the end of this twine is here somewhere. Maybe. There we go. So what you're going to do with these is if you take little segments of this jute twine, this makes a great fire tinder. How? Fixing to show you. That's where the chapstick comes into play. Take our chapstick. Take your chapstick, open that up, and this isn't even really chapstick. This is just some generic lip balm. Chapstick's kind of a generic term here for lip balm. And you just run that jute twine through the lip balm. Doesn't hurt to have a tube of lip balm with you anywhere you are, because especially here in Florida, it does have a SPF factor. And you take this jute, and you can do this one of 2 ways. If you leave the jute the way it is, you can take one of your matches, and that lip balm creates a mini candle. I don't know if you can see that, but it lights, and you can use that as your tinder source. Or what you can do, if you take a segment of this stuff and you kind of fluff it up, whether you use your fingers or your knife or whatever, you kind of make your little bird's nest there. Take your ferro rod, and that takes a spark from the ferro rod very nicely. So we've got our tube of not so chapstick, and we've got a roll of jute twine. Next, a lighter. Get 2 of these for $1. Scripto lighters work. I mean, they're not, I wouldn't say they're as good as Bics, but they're 2 for $1. There's our jute twine again. Even if the lighter were to run out of fuel, that wheel will still create a spark. So you could still possibly light your jute twine the same way you would light a ferro rod. So we've got lighters. Candles. Candles, obviously, I think everybody knows what candles do other than frustrate you when you're trying to open the package. So you have candles. Obviously you can light the wick, you can put that, and the wick falls out. That's great. Oh, it is from the Dollar Tree. So obviously you can light your wick, put your candle under your kindling, and use that to light your fire. You could cut this up, and what you can also do is, if you were to light this and let some of this wax melt onto the jute twine, similar to the chapstick, it will basically turn it into a fire extender. And you can also do that with your cotton balls. So you can take your cotton balls, melt some wax on top of them, and it will do the same thing with the cotton balls. Hand sanitizer. Well, cotton balls are blowing away here. That didn't sound right. Anyway, hand sanitizer. Also, you can light this stuff by itself. It actually will burn all by itself because it is primarily alcohol. You put that down, you take your ferro rod or your lighter, and it's a little windy out here at the moment, and it's alcohol flame. I don't know if you can see that, but that's hot. But you can also, of course, smear your cotton ball in it, and it turns it into a flame extender. Yikes. And you see how quickly that lights. So you can also rub the chapstick into your cotton balls. You can melt wax onto it, and maybe you gotta watch that wick because it apparently likes to fall out. So what else do we got here? We got these little containers. I've bought these before. Different shapes, different brands, different sizes. These were 4 for $1. And I'm going to put our burnt cotton ball away here. And what you would do is you could prep your cotton balls, or just leave them plain and prep them at the time of the fire making. So if you're going to have your chapstick and you're going to have your hand sanitizer and you're going to have your candle, you don't have to pre-prep these. Might be a good idea to, or have one container with pre-prepped cotton balls and one container without, something of that nature. And last but not least, we got our bigger containers. These are just a small round container, Tupperware-ish. Tupperware, I think, is a brand. So I'm not going to say it's a Tupperware container, but it's a Loctite type container. You get a couple of them for $1. And there's your container. Or you could just drop all this down in a pack if you wanted to. There's your cotton balls, your candle with the falling wick, your hand sanitizer, your roll of jute twine. I don't know if that's going to fit in there just quite exactly right. So what you might do is cut off a length of that jute twine. But if you want to rewrap that cord, it can also serve as cordage in a pinch. So if you were to hang a tarp or lash some sticks together, here's your chapstick, your lip balm, your lighter, your matches, all in a watertight container, which is flimsier than hell. But now that didn't seal. Okay, so, well, get the string out of it. Paul might help. So I might choose a better container than that one, maybe. But it's doable. And then if you want to put a rubber band on it or wrap some tape around it or whatever, you could even wrap a piece of duct tape, and the Dollar Tree does sell duct tape. You could wrap a piece of duct tape around here, and then the duct tape itself can be used as a fire starter. So there you go, a whole complete fire kit with redundant fire sources, which is your matches, your lighter. If you wanted to throw a small ferro rod in there, it would fit, but again, we're keeping this under $10. In a watertight container, so your matches will stay dry, your lighter will stay dry. You have the ability to make just a spark. Not as big a spark as your ferro rod would, but just the wheel on that lighter should you run out of fuel or the fuel capsule on the lighter get broke. You could still make a spark and light your cotton balls. We've got jute twine, which you can use similar to a candle wick, or you can fluff it up and ignite it that way. And you've got your cotton balls with your lip balm or your hand sanitizer, or just the cotton ball by itself will work. So there you go. You don't have to spend a fortune to make a little redundant source fire kit that you can just drop in your backpack and away you go. So as always, thanks for joining us on Casual Camping and Outdoors, and we'll see you next time.